Well, in fact, Sushant, I want to ask this question to Terry Milewski because if he is aware, because he's written extensively about Canada's response when it comes to Khalistani extremism. But Terry Milewski, are you aware of which dictionary perhaps Justin Trudeau is referring to? Because his definition of credible seems to be very different than what many of us know. As I understand, the definition of credible is very different than what Justin Trudeau has been talking about. So is there a different dictionary that he refers to?
Well, here's the problem. We don't know what he's referring to. And until he lays his cards on the table and makes it quite clear why he thinks it's credible and what the information is, he's going nowhere. This is just going to be a gigantic failure for him, and he's going to be finished in politics, I would say, if he's bet on what. And he's going to lose that bet unless he produces evidence. Now, I don't exclude the possibility that he might. There might be something, some wiretap somewhere that indicates perhaps somebody who had something to do with the Indian government saying, okay, we've got him. And we don't know, it depends on your interpretation, whether that wiretap necessarily means that we've got him, meaning our team scored a goal, or I was a player on the field. It's always subject, even signals intelligence is never definitive. It's always subject to interpretation. But I would say that the problem that happens, that we're facing at the moment, is that both sides, the Canadians and the Indians, are living in the past to a degree in terms of using an out-of-date model of the terrorism that they're supposed to be fighting. What I mean is that the Canadians say, well, it doesn't meet that standard. What's happening in Canada, they're not blowing anything up. There's no terrorism here. India's exaggerating. Whereas the Indians exaggerate by saying, well, they're terrorists, and that's their model of what terrorism is. It means blowing things up, when really we're in an information war. It's or really a disinformation war, whereby Khalistanis are teaching children that the Air India bombers were heroes, for example. They're teaching children. The mastermind of that bombing is a martyr of the Sikh nation and a model for Sikh youth. They're teaching children, look, here is a diorama, a tableau of the assassination of Indira Gandhi, driving through the streets of Toronto, celebrating this event with, oh yes, plenty of red paint on the Prime Minister's sari to indicate to the kids this was a bloody event, number one, and number two, we're proud of it. We'd do it again if we could. It was a wonderful thing. So now we have a situation where Mr. Nijjar, the Canadian account is, we don't know of any terrorism that he's done. We don't see any convictions, extradition requests that meet Canadian standards. And the Indian says, oh, yeah, we've labeled him a terrorist. He must be a terrorist. But look at his speeches. Look at the video of what Nijjar was preaching in that temple where he was president and where he met his maker. He's saying in that speech that, here's our great achievements as a movement. We assassinated Indira Gandhi. We assassinated Chief Minister Bayant Singh of Punjab. We killed General Vaidya, who commanded the Indian Army troops at the Golden Temple, and more and more and more. Worshipping terrorism. It is an ideological battle that they are waging, and we've got to start judging it by that rather than waiting for things to blow up. That's going to be too late.
Professor Nalapat,